Hi, my name is Julia M. Spencer. I'm a real estate advisor, investor, and your number one source for real estate advice online. And in this video, we're going to talk about deeds in lieu of foreclosure. What does that mean? And before we get started with the video, make sure you subscribe at my website right here. You'll get a newsletter and a free guide to real estate investing. And also make sure you subscribe, of course, right here on YouTube so you can be notified when I publish new videos, basically. So this is my second video for today, and I kind of explained in the previous video that yesterday I had the privilege to go to an event with one of my colleagues, I guess, my competitors, I guess you should say, that are also bidding at the courthouse steps right here in Savannah, Georgia, where I live. And this person is actually an attorney, a trained attorney, not a real estate attorney, but a different line of law, I guess criminal law, he stated. And I was able to, on the ride there to our event, I was able to pick his brain a little bit on a couple of real estate things. So I was kind of explaining to him the question, but the answer he gave me really had to do with deeds in lieu of foreclosure. So I'm going to explain that a little bit, how I came about even having this question and what the answer was. And I do this usually, of course, with my videos, first off, because I forget things really easily and I'm really bad at note taking. Actually, I take okay notes, but the notes disappear, so forget it. You know, it's better for me to have a video diary, basically, of the things that I learn. And also I get to share them with you, and you can share them with other people or comment and add notes here at the bottom of this video and talk to each other as well, because we're here in a learning experience, and you guys teach me just as much as I teach you, so this helps a lot. So let me just lay down the scenario and then I'll lay out the question and I'll give you the answer. So one of my investor friends out in California, he actually lives in California, but he goes to auctions with me in Nevada and Arizona, had mentioned this to me before, what he does, and he wasn't really able to properly translate what he does in Georgia terms because he's in a different state and the laws are different from state to state. So for a little while now I've been trying to hunt down this information, and you know, I had finally pinned down an attorney and I was able to ask the question. I think I got an answer. But like I said, if you have a law degree or knowledge in real estate law, or you're a real estate agent, you know, I don't claim to know everything. I'm just sharing my experience and what I find out. So please leave comments, suggestions down here at the bottom, feedback, good, bad, ugly. I take it all. And I'm learning from you as well. And just leave comments at the bottom of this video and let me know what your experience is with this as well. So 3.5 minutes into this video, we're going to finally get to the topic here. So basically my investor friend out west, what he does is he buys tax sale foreclosures and then he sells them to owners that are living in there and offers them owner financing, basically, which is fine and good, and you can do that anywhere, obviously. But what he does write in his contracts, they're very short contracts because I've seen them. They're only like 2 pages long. It basically says, blah, 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 you're going to pay me this amount every month for this many years. This is your interest rate. Whoever is responsible for taxes and insurance, he writes all that down. He writes their name, their address, all that. And then in the bottom, he says, okay, if you fail to pay within XYZ amount of time, I'm going to make use of this right that you're basically forfeiting this mortgage and the property. So what that does to him is basically if the owner doesn't pay him, and we're not involved with banks or anything, this is just owner and tenant, or you know, homeowner that owns the property and then the previous owner that provides owner financing. And basically it states that if the person that lives there doesn't make their mortgage payment, and there's a time frame usually, that they basically choose after a certain amount of time to forfeit the property. And of course the mortgage is null and void. The note is null and void at that point. And my investor friends out west basically explained to me This avoids them having to go to court and do an actual formal foreclosure, which you have to hire an attorney for, and it takes a long time, and in that time the tenant may trash your place. You want to avoid all of that. You want to just give them the option in the contract to just walk away and leave their equity too. I've asked them about the equity actually, because if somebody puts a down payment, of course, if they walk away, they want some of that back, but he never really answered that, so I need to dig on that a little bit more. But basically, the right to forfeit, he puts that on there, that the owner, if he doesn't pay the mortgage, that they're basically forfeiting, and he can basically take his property back without having to go through formal foreclosure. And what he does then after that he basically sells it to the next person with the same kind of contract. And sheepishly, he's done 4 or 5 sales like that on every one of his properties, and he gets to keep the property. So it's kind of a little bit of a sheepish way to rent property, I guess, lease to purchase option or something, but it's helps him to avoid a lot of the legal aspects of it in case there's a default, basically. And so just going further in the story, I'm here in Georgia and I'm trying to figure out, is there something like that here? Is there a law or forfeiture that I could put into this contract, basically stating that blah blah blah, if you don't pay me, then I will go to this, I'm telling you this law right here, that's the law we're going to follow. You're forfeiting and I'm taking my house back, and we're not going to court. So I asked this attorney yesterday, is there something like this law of forfeiture here in the state of Georgia? And I was told that there's not. And I expected that, because every state, of course, is different. And my friend out west also even said to me, you may not have this law where you are, but you need to research that. So what we do actually have in the state of Georgia is deed in lieu of foreclosure. And I was also explained that there's something like a judicial and a non-judicial foreclosure. So a non-judicial foreclosure, this is what my own interpretation is, I'm not sure about this, so please verify this with an attorney, is where you actually, it's basically like a forced foreclosure where you actually go to court and you have to be in front of the judge and plead your case and all this other stuff, and you have an attorney and it costs a lot of money. But if you do a non-judicial foreclosure, which is basically a deed in lieu of foreclosure, and I've seen these before in the legal ads right here in Georgia, basically what you're doing is you're required, or you are going to, by default, I guess, as the owner, sign the property back over to the previous owner, the mortgage note holder, and this is done with owner financing usually. And I'm sure there's some sort of process for it, like going to the paper and advertising it, but it's very much straightforward, and it basically keeps the laws out of it. It's basically just a outside law process, basically, of claiming a property back. And I believe that you can write that in your contracts, in your owner financing contracts. I haven't seen one of those before, but I'm going to try to get an owner financing contract from this attorney here. And once I get to read that and get more information from it, I'll share that with you also. But again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not, legally, I'm not allowed to do that even. I'm not a real estate agent. This is all information just as I learn it as a real estate investor, as I do this every day. So if you have more different information, or if you need to correct me, or if I said something wrong, please leave the comments. Please stay civil, my feelings do get hurt if you get really, really insulting. But just leave the comments there, and if they're useful, of course, also remember a lot of other people will be reading them. So it's a good thing to leave comments. So I encourage you to do that, and if you don't have anything of knowledge, just add your problem and see if maybe somebody else can help you with yours. And I want to read, of course, all your comments. If you want to send me a private message, realestate@juliamspencer.com. So make sure you go to my website. It's at the bottom of this video. Subscribe there. You get a newsletter and a free guide to real estate investing. And also sometimes I send out offers for my audiobooks that are on my website as well. And leave me comment suggestions, and I look forward to hear from you. And with that, have a great day investing, and I hope to see you investing very successfully very soon. Have a great day.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.